in the Philippines, and it's Jeremy Jones and Liu Cheng Chuan who lead the way. Tony Drago and Jerry Wart still without any points at all in that table. Right, well, I hope you're enjoying the action so far. We're well into the opening day action of this terrific tournament coming to you from Manila in the Philippines. Jim White is with me here in the studio, and we were slightly disappointed, Jim, weren't we, that Tony never quite looked like he was going to do this one. He showed flashes of brilliance, but not sustained.
Never really settled in, did he, David? It just too many unforced errors, and Tony will be the first one to tell you that. But certainly it's one that he's going to have to build on. It's a very tough group, that one, and he's got it all to do now. But just the errors from Tony Drago.
Well, right at the start, do you remember when he had that miscue?
Yeah, I mean, and that might have planted a lot of negative seeds in his mind, too.
Well, you made the point, I think, that it's often the way that could affect the whole of the rest of the rack, because you make that nervous start and you can never quite shake it out of your mind when you play an even more difficult shot.
Well, certainly if you've got to do anything with the cue ball at all. And for me, I think Tony's demise was manufactured mainly in part because he kept losing the cue ball. He just didn't control the cue ball. Even late in the match, the in-off into the side pocket. I mean, that's just inexcusable. And Tony, again, would be the first to tell you that.
And you've made the point earlier, the commentators also made the point, that really in this new format with just 4 players in each group, the pressure is so on you. You really can't afford to lose anything. If you lose more than the one, you've gone.
Well, you're in big trouble. And I mean, looking at Tony's group, he's got Jeremy Jones in there who's already won. And now with Tony losing a match to an Asian player that, you know, I think a lot of us here knowing Tony's game might well expect Tony to get through. Well, now he's forced to beat Jeremy Jones, who we know, former U.S. Open champion. Now he's in very tough.
Yes, and of course, nerves, you have to say, would come into this. This is possibly why he made that very early miscue, which affected the whole thing.
I think the players that control their nerves the quickest and the best are the ones that are going to get through. There's no time to settle in anymore. I mean, with 4 players and 2 going through to the knockout stages, it's going to be, you know, check your gut at the door because you're going to have to leave it there.
Next up, we've got some great action from the legend, the legendary Efren Reyes, of course, hot local favourite, I mean a hero in that part of the world. And he's not a bad player either, is he? I mean, still, you look at him and you think, is this a world-class sportsman? Well, the answer is yes. There's the group 2. And Babitso is in there with a Pancho. And Tony Crosby, who you know pretty well, used to be in Manchester, now lives in Florida. Registered as a USA entrant. Is he a dual national?
He absolutely has dual citizenship, because I know for a fact he still comes back to the UK an awful lot. But he's been in Florida for about 4 or 5 years now, David.
And Efren Reyes, as I said, you look at this guy, and one of the commentators is making the point that when he makes a mistake or an error, he smiles and laughs it off. It doesn't get to him. He still plays at such a high level.
Yeah, outward only that smile, believe me. But with Tony, you know something? Playing somebody like Reyes, who will be under a lot more pressure than Tony Crosby will be, you know, Tony's in with a chance simply because it's the first one out of the gate.
Yeah, and you're looking forward to watching this because you never know what might happen. But with Reyes, you're bound to get a fascinating match, whatever happens.
Yeah, well, you know the crowd's going to be into it, and they're going to be into it right from the start with their hero out there.
OK, folks, settle back then. Enjoy the action now. It's coming up involving that great player, Efren Reyes. Here's John McDonald.
It's time to meet a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, from Angeles City in the beautiful Philippines, Pinaki Mangalin, numero 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the magician, Efren Reyes! And now, ladies and gentlemen, originally from Manchester, England, now based in Florida, USA, would you please welcome Tony Crosby?
So, here we go then. Tony Crosby finds himself in the loneliest seat in the house. Not only is he going up against one of the living legends of this sport, Efren Reyes, but he's going up against a crowd as well, because it is packed out here to see, well, one of the most reluctant sporting superstars you'll ever meet. But this man's a legend in the Philippines, and he's a legend throughout the game, and rightly so.
Indeed, you said it. Reyes undoubtedly the favorite of the field for this home crowd. But he better not look past Tony Crosby. Crosby has come on strong the past couple of years. The man can play.
And as you heard, he's flying under your flag these days, Jerry, although originally he was one of us. Now, quite why anybody would want to leave rainy old Manchester for sunny old
Crosby
Florida,
wins the lag.
Can't imagine. But anyway, that's the move that Tony made. He now makes his home in
Please, no flash.
Spring Hill, Florida.
Indeed.
World rank number 50. Where is Spring Hill?
First rack.
It's
race rate,
it's on the
alternate
west
breaks.
coast of Florida,
Tony Crosby
sort of
break.
in a line, well, a little bit north of Miami, actually.
Oh, what a miserable life he must lead out there.
Yeah, yeah. He's I believe he's gotten his American citizenship now.
He's certainly represented the United States. That is for certain.
Boy, his game has really come on the last couple of years too.
And he's got a fancy nickname as well, the Sniper.
Yes. Well, the Sniper's got a tough shot to begin with. You can see after this break, the one ball setting up in a line on the middle of the table with the cue. So not the easiest shot with which to begin a rack.
Yeah, a Group 2 match. The other gentlemen in this group are Radoslav Babika of Poland and from Indonesia, Roy Apancho. You get the feeling that those two guys and Crosby are fighting out their own little personal race between three of them for second spot, because if it goes according to form, Reyes will win this group, which leaves one available opportunity. So if it gets close, and all these guys have to think that you might not beat Efren Reyes, but you want to pick up some racks if you can, because if you get to tiebreakers, racks in the bank might come in very handy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's see how he chooses to begin.
He heads for the hills, and
Can't blame him.
no,
Hey, that's a good shot.
met with stony silence in the from the pro Reyes crowd.
No, I don't think Tony's going to look forward to a lot of applause in this match.
You couldn't play it much better than that. Plenty of distance between object ball and cue ball. Two balls obscuring the path. And that one's got the black 8 tucked in behind it as well. So even the magician might find digging your way out of this one a bit of a problematic situation.
Well, he's made a hit, but he's certainly not going to be very pleased with this. He's left Crosby a rather elementary shot on the one. And from there, actually a path through the entire rack. So Efren not going to be real happy with that.
Well, Crosby made his good fortune there. That really was a very strong safety shot.
It was.
It was tough to get out of. And Reyes certainly has a good safety. Well, obviously has a good safety game. There are no real elements to his game that you consider a weakness with Reyes.
No, we used to be able to say he had a weak break, but he's worked on that now. So it's just nothing lacking in his game at all. But I tell you what, Tony Crosby's not going to be afraid of him. Tony's a confident player. He knows his own game and stays within his limits. He's beaten a lot of champions.
And he plays the game at his pace as well. A bit of a shock after Tony Drago flying around the table to see somebody as measured as Crosby. He's not slow. He's just taking his time and lining up his shots.
He'll try to stay within his rhythm. Play what you're comfortable with until they put the shot clock on you. Solid play thus far.
You would know more than me, Jerry, I suspect, but looking at Crosby, his mannerisms and his demeanor, and you can see it is standing room only here to see the great man in action. And no, we're not talking Tony Crosby, but let's go back to Tony Crosby. There seems to be a bit of snooker in this guy's background, the way he walks around the table.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got kind of a squarish stance as well, although he's really adapted to the game of pool very, very well. Ooh, he's not going to be happy with that.
He's dragged that back way too far.
Way too far. That English really grabbed on the cloth. The players kind of expect the cloth to be rather slick the first day, but that one really took hold.
Haven't we seen in just about every match we've had so far of day one, the first couple of racks, both players, all the players have made one or two strange shots that you just think they must be getting used to the table, because we're seeing it time after time.
Yeah, not. I don't want to be overly cruel, but the first couple of racks have been rather clumsy in every match so far. Oh, what a shot. Nothing clumsy about that.
Nope. He'd made it hard for himself, but the get out was easy. Look at this. That is not an easy shot to make.
Phew, great shot from Tony.
And he's even given himself angle on the 8 as well.
I'm going to be curious if he gets through these 2 balls, what kind of applause he gets from this crowd.
I think he'll get respectful applause. I don't think they're pro Reyes. I'm not sure they're anti anybody, these fans. So well,
no,
let's hear. Let's listen.
There you go. All right. Doesn't really surprise me. The people here in the Philippines, the few days we've been here, they've been marvelous to us. Just a great people. So, Tony Crosby draws first blood, leads the great Efren Reyes 1-0, and this is how he got there. Solid play.
He's going to need an awful lot more of that if he's going to have a chance against this fella. But remember, it's in relative terms, it's a sprint, a race to 8. And Crosby's got as much chance as anybody of claiming the scalp of the great man.
Efren Reyes to break, trailing 1 rack to 0.
Now let's see what he can conjure up with his first break here. The magician. The wing ball goes down. He's got something else in the middle as well. A good spread of balls.
Yeah, that was the 1 that went in the middle, and he's got a shot on the 2.
So 1 and 3 are down.
Yes. And I don't know, looking for problems here. Getting on the 4 is not automatic by any means. And then the 5 also presents a challenge. Boy, he makes it look easy.
That is quite a shot, because the cut was so fine that you thought, how's he going to get position? And he's got terrific position, and all he can do now, if he puts this one down, if he can pick up position on that 5, he's going to make this rack a procession. He's having a look.
Leaning it. He wants that cue ball to roll out a little bit. I think he's made it, though.
Has it cleared the 6 enough? I think it has, certainly the way he's lining it up.
Yeah, he didn't even need to spin it, so. Rest of this rack should be fairly automatic. However, at some point, Reyes has to break Crosby's serve. Crosby having won the lag.
The winner of this title in 1999, of course, Reyes. But since then, by his very high standards, he's been very disappointing. Just 1 quarter-final appearance since. And when he crashed out, I think he actually went out in the group stages last year. That was the big shock of last year's championship.
Yes, it was. But that was prior to the eye surgery. And that may have been the reason he went ahead with that surgery, because he said he wasn't happy with the way he was seeing the edge of the ball. Efren Reyes ties us up 1 apiece.
Yes, and he never gave Crosby a sniff, did he?
No.
Just running out and making it look so easy.
Well, that's the thing about Reyes. It looks like a very simple game when he's playing. It's his control of the cue ball is just unmatched.
But you made the point that this man lost the lag, therefore he is going to have to take a rack on the Crosby break. So that's the pressure that's on him. The pressure that's on Crosby is that he knows he has got to break consistently and well, and get a little bit of luck on those breaks as well. he doesn't want to be getting Reyes up at the table too often on his break, because if Reyes gets, as you see, control of the table, it's very difficult to get him off.
Yeah, the
Back
last
three.
thing you want to do is get into a
Crosby's
safety
break.
war with Efren Reyes.
1-1.
Just need to stay on offense.
He's on, but that cue ball's been given a kick, and that one's dropped, which is, well, actually, no, I think he's going to be okay. He's,
Well, he's got a long
oh,
shot
no, he's got
on
the long two. The two's still up, isn't it? Yeah.
And he has a real problem with the 4 ball, the pink ball. You can see how that comes over to this side rail and has the 7 ball blocking it a little bit.
It's going to be tough to run out from here.
Yeah, I don't know. Golly, 9 ball it pays to be aggressive in 9 ball, but when Efren Reyes is the guy who can get out of his chair if you miss, you've got to take that into account.
Well, in this situation last time, Crosby showed patience, played for safety, had a terrific safety shot, and he's going to try and find safety again, and tucking that blue in there gets a little bit of applause.
Yeah, but he's not happy with it because he's lined the 2 ball up with the 7. If Efren can strike the 2 ball, the 7's liable to go down into the corner pocket. And that's what Reyes is taking a look at now.
And it does look like there may be a channel through there.
All he has to do is hit it at the right speed so that the pocket will take the ball. I believe they're frozen. Has to avoid hitting the 4, obviously.
Look at that.
Well, the only person in the room not happy with that shot is Efren. He made the 7, but boy, has he left himself a tough act on this 2 ball.
Settle down then, please.
And that's the result. And look where he's left it.
Well, Efren had the opportunity here to break Crosby's serve, as we've been speaking of, but he's given the table back to Tony, and he's cured all the problems on the table.
Yeah.
So
all the headaches have gone.
yeah, all Tony's got to do is connect the dots.
Well, it was a wonderful pot, wasn't it, from Reyes? But as you say, he left himself a bit of a headache. Although it's still a surprise any time he misses. That 2 ball bounced in and out of the jaws. And Tony doesn't want to be getting too close to that 4. Just about got away with that.
Well, you know he would rather be digging down on the bottom of this cue ball on this shot and drawing back toward the 4 rather than running forward. But he'll live with it, I'm sure.
It's just about okay. That'll do. I thought for a moment it was going to keep on rolling and get under that 5 ball, which would have made the cueing action a little bit tricky, but he should have no impediments there whatsoever. He does have the 8 tucked up on that long rail to the right as we were looking.
Yeah, he's going to want to be fairly straight on that ball. Oh, my.
Dear.
First, you got to get there. And you know, these corner pockets on the foot rail have been very, very tight. They've haunted a lot of players today. But, boy, that ball flew off the rail.
Well, you can't give openings to Efren Reyes like that and expect to get away with it.
No, and now, given that he gets through these final 3 balls, it'll be Crosby who needs to steal a game off of Reyes' break. Reyes going to be very disgusted with the result of this shot. He's not going to be happy with this position.
I mean, even if he pulls this off, it's not a good shot by anybody's standard, is it? Because all he needed to do was track it back a little bit,
right?
Which wasn't the hardest shot in the world. Instead, he's left himself a kind of no man's land shot. Does he roll it up the rail? Does he bank it?
Oh, he'll roll it up the rail, but getting shape's the problem. He's missed it.
And he only has himself to blame. It wasn't that shot that was the problem, it was the previous one. Contact with the rail came too early and pushed that ball out.
Nice and quiet, please.
Yeah, the tables have dried out throughout the day. They're playing differently now. But that shouldn't have affected Reyes. This is his first match on the table. Efren reacts as much as you'll ever see Efren react.
And Tony Crosby gets away with it. Crosby thought his error was going to cost him the rack. Instead, the magician came up with a mistake. So this group match goes with serve, 2-1 Crosby. Been thinking to himself, I could have made my move in that last rack, but as we've heard Jerry say before, good pool players need a short memory. What's going on there? He's pushed the cue ball. He's got away with one there because that cue ball has ended, and that's why Reyes was unhappy. Right. I saw Efren react off that break, and I wondered why. And obviously, a flash camera's gone off. But he won't mind how that's laid out.
No, although this first shot on the one ball into the side pocket can be missed. Although you'd never know it.
No, he's just got that little mini cluster there, hasn't he? The 4 and the 6 tangled up together. That appears to be the only obstacle to this rack.
Yeah, and I believe he has the angle on the 2 ball where he can go down to the head rail and, well, apparently not. Because if he's going to bring the cue ball back out to where he just put his cue stick, it's not going to be easy at all.
Where's that going? A touch on the 7.
Boy. Well, he wants to play the carom and play the 6 into the side pocket, but then he's got to plot the path of the 4 ball as well. It does him no good to make the 6 if he can't then have a shot on the 4.
This is the problem he had earlier, wasn't it? He made the, he made the spectacular shot, but left himself with no shot effectively.
Oh, he's not going for the carom. He's doing something else. Well, a bank. Can't possibly out imagination Efren Reyes.
No. And we don't even try.
He's just such a complete player. You know, I've watched this man for I'm not going to say how many years, and I've never seen him play stronger than he plays now. He just doesn't ever lose his edge. Look at that. Had he placed it with his hand, he would have wanted it there.
And this looks like we're going to be level at 2 apiece. After Efren Reyes has made a rack look very easy indeed.
He does that to a lot of them, doesn't he? Pleases the crowd.
Well, they're happy in the seats around the table. They're happy on the balcony upstairs as well, because the great man has done a very good clean-up here on a rack that was not looking like it was a simple one. But it was Crosby that was stood, or sat admiring, should we say, as Reyes went to work.
Well, and that's the task ahead of Crosby, is to take advantage of everything he can. There's a good shot of our crowd watching this match.
Doesn't bother Reyes, does it, whether it's a full house watching or whether he's
Crosby to
there
break.
on his own? I wonder how it's affecting Crosby, though.
His demeanor never changes. Efren's always the same player at the table. I think Tony's handling it very, very well. He's staying well within himself.
He has the wing ball down. He's got something else down. How are they going to line up for him?
Well, had the 2 not struck the 8, well, it lined up perfectly for him, so he can't complain about this.
He'll be happy enough. A good break, although you wouldn't know it from the crowd reaction.
Well, I think Crosby had prepared himself for whatever the crowd can possibly do.
They breed them tough mentally in Manchester, Jerry.
Oh? There's that snooker background coming into play. That looked like a snooker player with that rest.
He looked very comfortable with it, didn't he? It's,
yes.
Some of these pool players you see when they take the rest, it looks like they're wearing boxing gloves to use it, but not this guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, on that 12-foot snooker table, you have to use the rest so often. And on a 9-foot pool table, you can reach most shots. Although Alex Pagulayan uses the rest a lot. Helps to be tall.
Well, Tony very quietly going about his business once again. I like his pacing, Jerry. I really do. I like his demeanor. This is a guy who's obviously come in and said to himself, well, look, I'm not going to beat Efren Reyes 8-0 or 8-1. That's not happening. So I'm just going to take it steady. And when I'm breaking, make sure I just stay in control of the table. Because if that happens, he's going to win this match.
Indeed. Well, he's not pleased with that shot. I liked it. He's come a little bit too far back down table to get real easy shape on the 7, but I think he can manage going down to this rail, back up to the center of the table. Now he's got to watch this shot. This is a shot that's been missed a lot today because this corner pocket is extraordinarily tight. Oh, no problem at all. You know, we talk about how Reyes has such a calm demeanor. We're going to have to say the same about Tony.
I think he's been very impressive so far. There's one shot you could say that maybe he should have had.
Well, he's fallen well short on his position. He doesn't seem upset about it. And the ball goes down. That's all that matters.
And once again, he's got it absolutely right because he's kept Efren Reyes in his chair where even the magician can do no harm, and it's 3-2 Crosby. And Reyes is probably sitting there thinking, okay, this is going to be an interesting one.
Well, not many players have the patience of Reyes. He knows that the odds are that he's going to get an opportunity sooner or later, and he's perfectly willing to wait for later.
Reyes a real run for his money.
You know, if it were anybody else but Efren Reyes, we would be talking about the world of weight that's on his shoulders because, well, let's say that his last tournament, which he won, has not been great for him because he hasn't as yet received his prize money. It doesn't seem to be bothering him.
The only thing that might bother him here is that the cue ball has ended up on a rail. Apart from that, if he can get on here after depositing the 1,
he's got to get on that 2 ball.
Yeah, that's the shot, isn't it? If he can do that.
Oh my! Did you see the magic he had on that cue ball? Look at that shot! Whoa!
That actually defied the laws of physics, didn't it?
I'm telling you, he had that cue ball dancing.
I thought that cue ball was going to come flying back down the table.
Well, I did too. I thought he was going to be on this side of the 2 ball. What a shot.
You know, if you ever wanted to pull out one shot that illustrates how to control a cue ball, that would have been it, that previous one, wouldn't it? I mean, it was phenomenal.
That was really pretty. And that, oh my.
And if you ever wanted to have a shot of how to make sure you stay concentrated and focused, you'd pull that one out, because that's all it is.
Look how he reacts. He smiles, laughs with the crowd about it. He doesn't get upset. And that was not a near miss. That was kind of ugly. Even the great Reyes can lose focus occasionally. What an opportunity here for Crosby.
Yeah, if Crosby can get on here and then get himself with a shout at the 5, he's got a chance to steal this rack and really put himself in good shape in this match.
He sure does.
Do you see the eyes, the concentration? Hello, he's got a kiss that he doesn't like at all. And what's that old axiom, Jerry? If there's contact with another ball on the table, it's usually bad.
It's rarely good.
That didn't help Tony one little bit.
No, if he chooses to bank that ball back into that corner pocket, he's going to have a tough time getting shape on the 6. You know, this might be a good time to play a safety.
But as you said earlier, it's playing safety with Reyes in the other chair is a tough proposition, and that's not going to get it done.
No, that didn't work at all. I'm sure that's not even close to what he had planned.
He's married up the brown with the 9. That's the only good bit of fortune there.
Yeah, but the brown still has that corner pocket that Reyes is standing over to go into. And he's got a way to get there, so don't know that that's going to help him. Let's see if he slow rolls this. If he can stay down below the 6 ball, he should be fine for the rest of the rack. And the slow roll has cost him. Now, how many times do you see Efren Reyes miss 2 shots in a row?
Settle down, please. Nice and quiet.
Oh, this really is extraordinary.
That was quite a drag shot he put on that cue ball. Did you see the way the spin on it reversed?
So once again, Crosby's been let out of jail.
Well, he has got to take advantage of this opportunity. He's not going to get many like this.
Yeah, Reyes has gone stone cold, and that's not going to last for long. I agree with you 100%, Jerry. If Tony Crosby's going to steal this rack, he better not let Efren Reyes get out of his chair again.
Uh-oh. Boy, I thought he had scratched. He's okay. Although he would love to be another 6 inches up the table. You know, once you get out of line like this, the key is to get back in line. And, well, he's done a great job of that. He's back in for the 8 ball. A little bit more stretch than he wanted, so he'll reach for the rest of the game. But last time he mastered that shot.
He has no problems with this shot at all, does he?
Look at this.
And he has indeed stolen this rack, barring some unforgivable miss on this 9. Hello, taking his time again, look.
Oh, someone in the crowd may have moved. 4-2, Tony Crosby leading Efren Reyes in front of Reyes' hometown crowd.
And breaking next.
In the end against Efren Reyes.
Well, the transplanted Mancunian has got a great chance here. Hello, have we got a dry break?
We do indeed, and I believe that's the first dry break I've seen today in the matches I've worked.
Just as I was about to say, he's got a great chance of really taking a stranglehold on the match. That wing ball hasn't gone. Look at that pink getting kicked around all over the place. Nothing down, and Reyes with a clean shot at that one. There's your luck.
I'm telling you. But where does he put that one? If he goes for the tough shot going down into the corner, he has a chance of missing. If he goes for the combination on the 4, he's got to plot the path of the 1, the Q, and the 4. And he's missed it. That's 3 shots in a row we've seen Reyes miss.
Or was he playing for that?
No.
He took second prize anyway.
Yeah, he's left Tony in a tough position.
Is that one just poking its nose out? Would that give Crosby a chance just to get the cue ball planted down to the foot end of the table, and for the one to get pushed upstairs?
From where we sit, it looks like it. But I would think that if he could see the edge, he would do what you say, just clip the edge and going back up table. Instead, he's looking at kick angles, and I don't think he'd be wanting to kick if he could possibly see the edge.
The thing that he'll be weighing up in his mind at the moment is there's a lot of hiding places on that table at the moment.
Yes. And he needs to find one right here.
What's he going to get with that? Huh. Didn't need that, did he?
No, I don't believe he's got a shot. He's smiling about it, going, the luck of the Irish. I'm not Irish.
No, as you say, no way he's looking for that, because he's managed to stun that cue ball right behind the 9. I think he can get a look at it. I think he can get a look at the 2 enough to get a little bit of a touch on it, but surely not enough to pop the thing.
Well, I can tell you, Tony's a good jump shot player. So, and all he's got to do is get over the edge of that 9 ball. He doesn't even need a jump cue to do it. He's going to stay with his playing cue.
This is a big shot for Tony Crosby.
Big shot. Oh, missed it badly. What kind of a roll does he get? None.
Nothing. If Reyes can put this one away.
Yeah, there's no real problems left on the table now.
No, that should be clean-up time for the magician. And getting out of a big hole, 5-2 down, would have been a real problem.
Well, Reyes with the opportunity to draw within 1. I love to watch this man dance around the table.
It's funny reading through the biographies of the players here. So many of them from all around the world, every continent you can imagine. Favorite player, Efren Reyes.
Absolutely.
Over and over again.
Who do you want to play like? Efren Reyes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're from Vietnam or Venezuela. This man is your inspiration.
If you can talk, I mean, if you can play like Efren Reyes and talk like Minnesota Fats, your future is unlimited. They'll just spin around 2 rails, come across the line of position on the 9 ball. And right where he wants to be. Time and again.
So Reyes pulls himself back to within 1. Just what he needed. But Tony Crosby's giving the number 2 seed quite a workout here. This is a good match.
Indeed it is. It'll be Reyes' break. There's just nothing to say. All you have to do is watch. Our crowd has thickened throughout the day.
Rack 8. Efren Reyes to break. Training 3 rack.
All waiting for this match, the chance to see their hero. And what a hero he is here.
But to stay with our tennis parlance, we're still on serve. This fella needs a break of serve. Well, the wing ball's gone down for him. And he can see the one. He'll take that.
He certainly shall. But he has a bit of a problem getting on the 2-ball. The easiest way to get on the 2-ball would be to slow roll the shot, and that's really not something you want to do as a player. You want to let that arm move freely. Now he can. What is he looking at? I was thinking he was going to drag the cue ball 2 rails, but apparently he has another plan in mind. Oh, he's playing to run into the ball.
Left himself a long shot though, Jerry.
Yeah, but you know what? It worked. I mean, he ran into the ball and put it where out in the open where he can make it. That's part of the magic of Reyes.
And now he can join up the dots.
Yes, he can. This shot gives a lot of players some trouble because you're looking away from the pocket. But doesn't seem to bother Efren. Cutting with inside English. Striking that shot, even with clumsy cueing, he splits the wickets of the pocket.
I was watching him just before this match, Jerry. He can't walk around here because everybody wants their photograph taken with him. Everybody wants his autograph. It's and he smiles and he signs them all. And he poses for all the photos. I've never seen him wave anybody away.
I was going to say, I've never seen him refuse.
Nope. But he seems a reluctant star as well. I don't think he's one of these people that courts it. He doesn't embrace stardom, but he accepts that he is a star, whether he likes it or not, and reacts accordingly.
He's basically a fairly shy guy, very unassuming. Never brags about his game.
Yes, I've heard some interviews post-match with him over the years on the San Miguel Asian Tour, and he's always praising the other guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness me. What is going on here? Is he going to fluke the 9?
He's fluked the 9. Yeah. If you ever want to hear a crowd go wild, just fluke a 9 ball. Both players seeing the humor in that. Take another look.
This guy comes up with some great shots, but every single person in this auditorium knows this was just an outrageous fluke, and they loved it. And we loved it. And I think even Tony Crosby saw the funny side.
Yes,
what a good match we're going on here. Level pegging, 4 apiece in this race to 8. This is a good one. Yes, where everybody's just about settled down after the outrageous shot of the tournament.
Yeah, you won't see many like that. Luckily.
Tony's kind of lost the cue a bit there, but has he got a channel for that one to drop into the bottom right hand, I wonder?
Well,
Top right as we're looking here at this shot. Will that go?
My boy, that is so tight.
There is a channel. I wonder if it'll drop bottom right as we look. And if he gets it, can he get himself over to position on the 2, which is
Well, that's the thing.
to the left?
If he goes, yeah, there's the channel. He's got a shot, but if he goes for it, he'd like to have a way to play safe also if he misses, and there's just no way to do that and get shape on the 2.
Hello.
Hello.
He went for something else.
Well,
He kind of snatched at his chalk there as if he's a bit frustrated that
Well-
he's come up with the shot and yet left himself stuck on the rail.
yeah, he's left himself on the rail. He'd love to be able to stop his cue ball here, and to do that, he's going to have to jack way up on the cue stick, and that greatly reduces your odds of making the shot. Well, he needs this shot very, very badly. This, if not, this could be the miss of the match. Oh, he's made
Played it brilliantly. He's played that superbly.
Still, he's not in line with an easy shot, and that's where he's trying to get, where he has an easy shot so that he can plot out the rest of the table with some control.
At the risk of repeating myself, Jerry, that last shot reminded me again. He played that like a snooker shot.
Right.
Just, you can see the background, can't you?
Yeah.
Just a controlled slow roll. And at the back of his mind, the knowledge that if he lets Reyes up to the table, it could be the moment that the magician gets his nose in front for the first time in the match. So he's got to stay in control of this. And at 4-all in a race to 8, you can't blame him for taking a lot of time with this one. He's got to get it right.
And as he does, let us remind you to stay with us. The very next match features a real sharpshooter, Darren Appleton. And he's playing the Prince of Brunei. How often do you see royalty on a pool table?
The Crown Prince, indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah. He'll take that.
Well, now he's in line. Now he should be able to control the table. And he's overrun his shot. You know, it often happens. You see these guys make one tough shot after another, and they finally get an easy shot, and they lose their concentration. Needs to roll. And does. And again, the crowd gives a nice, polite round of applause.
I don't know too much about the other fellas in this group. Radoslav Babika of Poland and Roy Pancho of Indonesia, but I imagine if they're watching this match, they're thinking, boy, this is going to be tough for either of us to get out of this group.
Well, Babica has had some very good performances in World Championships earlier. The last few years, he hasn't done that much. They call him the choir boy, and you'll see why when you see him. Tony Crosby holds serve. Now leads 5-4.
And that was a high-pressure rack. And Crosby held his nerve and kept his game together and stays in front.
That was quite a shot right there.
I just get the feeling, Jerry, regardless of what happens in this match, if Crosby maintains this standard throughout, he is going to qualify, and he may do some damage in the elimination phase as well.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to want to be drawing his name out of the hat if they do get to the round of 64.
He's definitely what you would call an up-and-coming pool player.
And we always look at these
Efren Reyes to break, trailing 4 racks to 5.
these useful dark horses. Remember, 2 of the last 3 years this championship's been won by somebody who nobody really regarded going in. But Torsten Homan winning in Cardiff, and Wu Cha-ching. Nobody thought at 16 you could possibly win the thing.
Right.
That cue ball took an almighty great kick up the table.
And this table is pretty ugly.
And everybody wants the shot of Efren Reyes at the table. Not everybody remembers to turn the flash off.
Well, so many of these new small automatic digital cameras, many people don't know how to turn the flash off.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I'm one of them. He's not happy. Not happy one little bit. There's why. And he can't blame a flash camera for that.
Yeah, but you know, there's an awful lot of work left to be done on this table. He can't be too frustrated. I mean, he's got to play this shot so that he gets on the 2 ball in a way that allows him to get back down where he's standing now for the 3. And he doesn't have a full pocket here with which to work. Well, he's made the 1. He's going to have to really put some draw on this ball to get back down for the 3.
Would he be thinking at any point to try and develop that nasty little cluster that he's got going there, that 5-7?
Well, he's going to have to move it on the next shot.
Let's see if he can get to it at all. And has he got an angle there?
Well,
will that cut?
It'll cut into the side, but I'm not sure it allows him then to run into that cluster like he needs to. Perhaps it does. Now, if he banks it, he can go right into the cluster. Oh, he's played the safe. Smart shot.
That was smart, wasn't it? Because look at the barrier that has been erected. And as good a safety player as Efren Reyes is, that's a tough one. The only negative for Crosby, he still didn't develop that. That is still standing there as a bit of a headache. But what a smart shot to play.
Yeah, I'd much rather be in Crosby's shoes right now than Efren's. Well, let's see what kind of magic the magician has for us here. A 3-rail shot and just barely misses making contact.
That's not quite the disaster that 1 or 2 in the crowd clearly thought it was, because there's still that problem of the 5-7 to get solved. And whoever wants to win this rack is going to have to solve that puzzle.
Well, with ball in hand, he can place this cue ball wherever he wishes and develop whatever angle he wants on that 5. Well, big shot. And we've seen so many in this match.
Look at these little adjustments he's making from ball in hand. Still not quite happy. That's the 4th or 5th little adjustment he's made. And now another one.
Well, it's so critical. You can't just hit the balls. You know, you've got to hit them so that you develop a shot on the 5. Uh-oh.
He's in trouble on that.
Yeah, he needed a little fuller hit. I can't see whether that 5 will slide past the 7 into the side pocket. Even if it does, Nigel Reese is going to be watching him like a hawk for a double hit. It might be better to, play down for a safe and leave the 5 behind the 7. Nigel gets in position to watch for the double.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
that's a great shot.
Had that cue vertical.
That is a great shot from Tony Crosby.
Take a look at this.
Jerry, no way would I ever claim to be any kind of expert on this game, but what I'm seeing from Tony Crosby here, you're looking at a guy that is very assured on a 9-ball table.
Oh, yes.
This guy's got all the shots. Because he didn't pick that last one up, was not picked up on a snooker table. That's all 9-ball.
You know, a lot of these guys have all the shots, but the mental strength and the composure is what I'm really impressed with on Tony here.
Sharp intake of breath there from Crosby, because that one thought twice about dropping, but he should now be okay for 6-4, and he breaks next. Some of this applause that Tony Crosby's been getting might start drying up if this carries on.
I tell you, he has, right now, he's got this crowd falling silent.
They didn't come here to see this. They came here to see the great man, but it's Tony Crosby that's impressed everybody with what he's done here so far.
Yeah, he's certainly impressing me.
6-4 and breaking next.
Heavy advantage, that score line, 6-4 and a race to 8.
This is the shot. What
Yeah.
a gem.
Beautiful shot. Very easy to foul on that shot, because if your stick hits the cue ball twice, you've given up ball in hand.
Well, if their hero's going to do it, he's going to have to come from behind now. It's a race to 8. 6-4, the American in front. And with a chance now, if he can hold his nerve and get reasonable fortune on his break, to get on the hill. But he has had a dry break in this match.
Leading 6 racks to 4.
Well, Crosby will be telling himself, well, 1 dry rack, you're not going to get 2. And there's been very few dry racks on this table so far. That may be the only one, in fact. Let's see if that wing ball drops, and it does.
So does the 1. He's got to play for a shot on the 3 now. No, the 2, excuse me. Pardon me.
And whether that 2's path to the pocket is obscured by the 8, I'm not sure. We can't quite get the angle on that. Check out where that 2 and 8's going. Look.
Oh, yes, he has a problem. And you know, okay, he's okay now. I thought he was going to get out of his pace there for a minute and get down on the shot too quickly, but he's back studying it now.
Can he bounce off that 2 and put the 8 down?
He could carry on, but I think he's going to go for the combination, because he winds up with the 8-ball blocking the 2. Now, however, Efren has a fairly easy carom on the 8-ball. He'll strike the 2 first and put the 8 in the corner, unless he decides to prove me a fool and bank the 2 ball back into the corner. Needs that ball to bounce.
Has it bounced enough?
Oh boy, no sir.
Is there a bank on side pocket?
Well, there is, but he's going to.
Maybe top right.
I think he's going to go ahead and cut it down into the top left corner. That gives him shape on the 3, but it's a no gimme. This is a tough shot.
The thing is with Reyes, you look at a table when you're watching a Reyes match, and you just broaden your scope, because there's shots that he could come up with that very few other people could.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. He's going to look for that very fine cut.
Well, what do we know?
He goes for the bank instead and doesn't get it.
I'm surprised he went for that. I really am.
The question is, can Tony Crosby thread the needle here? Does that pass the 3 that looks like it may be blocking, and the 4, because they're very much in the vicinity, both of them. But strange choice there from Reyes, as you say.
Right now, everything going Tony's way, and wow. This rack. If he finishes through this rack, he'll be on the hill. Reyes still stuck at 4.
What have we said throughout the tournament? That the way this format is, that all the groups now are 4 men in each group, and they all play each other once. The top 2 will qualify. So if you lose your first match, you're basically in a can't lose again situation.
Absolutely.
Reyes will step up next time, knowing that he could be one more loss away from going out.
Right. Then even he may feel some heat.
Even he may decide, yeah. Hello, that's tracking back a little bit too far for comfort, is it?
No,
He's got the angle, yeah.
He needed that for the angle.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the butterflies must be really having a picnic in Crosby's stomach right now.
Against the best player this sport has ever produced, Tony Crosby, with a 9 here, puts himself on the hill. You're basically putting yourself in a position now of trusting that a bit of luck goes your way.
Efren Reyes to break.
First of all, he's got to take care of his part of the deal and get himself a decent break. The wing ball goes down. He's more or less in the middle of the table.
And he does have a shot on the 1.
So, but did you hear, Jerry? This is a really good break. Not one ripple of applause, because these fans are sitting on their hands at the moment.
They're nervous.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to bet on someone to come from behind, bet on Reyes.
The only small cloud on this particular table is the 6-7 that are together, but I mean, there's so many different ways that Reyes could attack that 6.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't present any kind of problem for him at all.
No, he should be able to go right through this rack. Well, if he's worried, you'd never know it.
No. It's almost like he's decided, right, I'm going to run my rack. Come on, Tony, come up and beat me. Put the pressure on, yeah.
Right. If you can beat me, more power to you.
And he is gracious in defeat, isn't he?
Very.
Yeah,
Always.
He's not a sour loser.
No, not at all. He wins well and he loses well.
Wow, that is absolutely inexplicable.
I have no explanation to offer for that.
We're all lost for words. This defies belief. You see it, you don't believe it.
And you can't say that ball skidded because he missed it too badly for that to be just a skid.
And did you see Crosby's reaction there? As if to say, I'm up next. He was planning for his break.
Right.
Settle down.
Well, there you go, Tony Crosby. 2 balls to claim the scalp of Efren Reyes. No pressure. And he's overcut it. That's what pressure does.
I'm telling you.
It was racing through his mind, wasn't it? You could see it. I've got this for the match.
Right. That
And he
one
snatched
shot.
at it. And Reyes is out of jail. And they'll cheer the roof off here with relief. Their man is still in this.
Take a listen.
Goodness knows how. Well, we know Reyes has a short memory. I wonder what Tony Crosby's memory's like. He's going to have to put that one to the back of his mind quickly. That was a shocking miss. This rack not about Reyes at all until he had that uncharacteristic miss on the 8 that really said game, set and match. That was it. It's all over. But then Crosby overcooks his cut and Reyes stays alive. Amazing.
It is amazing. But I don't expect Crosby to be upset by that. I mean, we've seen his mental strength throughout this match. I think he'll come right back, be just fine.
Honestly, looking back now, mentally he was ready for his break. Because he didn't think he was getting up at the table there.
Right.
And suddenly he found himself there, and Reyes, well, he's still in it, isn't he? Because when you can pull out a shot like that, look at what he does with that cue ball. Any time you let him up to the table,
Rack 13, Tony Crosby to break.
he could do that kind of damage. And that's what's going through Crosby's mind right now. Close the deal right here. He would get another chance if he doesn't here, but would you want to break for the match on a hill-hill match against Efren Reyes?
Well, he's not going to be overly pleased with this. He was hoping to have an easier shot on the one, but the one certainly goes right into the side pocket. You can see how these balls set up on the break shot. He's got a full open pocket in that side pocket. The problem is navigating the traffic to get to the 2-ball.
If he does, Jerry, he should clean up.
He should. But if he doesn't, oh, the weight will get so heavy.
You don't want Efren Reyes snapping at your heels. This is a huge shot. And he's choked again.
Uh-oh.
Now, where's that going? Is he going to get lucky?
He did indeed, I believe. I don't think there's an alley there. Not a full alley.
And maybe I'm a bit harsh to say he choked there, because that wasn't the easiest shot.
Well, it was a shot he should have made.
Yeah. And looking at that angle, and Reyes has got the perfect angle on it. Sometimes these camera angles can be deceiving. Reyes is looking straight down the barrel there and saying, does it go? And from his reaction,
I think he just told us.
Yeah.
Too much distance to try a jump, but Efren is the master of masse. He can swerve that ball just a little bit to clear that 5.
With the knowledge also that if you leave it standing, that could be your last shot of the match.
Right. Well, now he is going to go over the edge of the 5.
Hello, what's happening here?
Now he needs a roll, and I think he's going to get it.
It's an easy kick.
Well, it is, but you have to, if you come off the backside of that 1 ball, the cue ball is going to be headed right for a scratch in the corner. So you've got to hit it pretty full. Where you'd like, I mean, the easiest kick would be to drive the cue ball into a rail that doesn't exist because the side pocket's there. So he's got a little work to do here. Oh, what a shot. Write him off as being in a tough situation, and he comes up with a miracle like this.
That's sensational.
Certainly is.
He's got another tough one, though, now with the 2. But if he can sink this and get position on the 3, the winning post comes into view.
You know, with that kind of shot making, you have to say that Crosby deserves this match.
And you've got to go for that kind of shot against Reyes. You're not going to tiptoe through a match with him.
No, you're not going to win a safety battle with him. Oh, but
this isn't easy.
No, this is a tougher shot into the side pocket than the 8-ball he missed in the last rack.
And I wonder if that's on his mind. Not only has he got to make the shot, he's got to get position on that red 3.
He's decided to play a safety. I do not blame him a bit.
Oh, has he got away with it?
Yes, he has.
Got to give it to this crowd, Jerry. They appreciate their pull.
Yep. And I'm going to appreciate if Reyes makes a hit on this ball.
If he doesn't, it's ball in hand for the American. But even from there, how's he going to get that 2 down?
Well, he won't. He'll play for another safety, and then he could play for that 3-foul rule, because if Reyes can't hit it 3 times in a row, it's loss of game.
This is a tough one, and
he chose to make the table a little bit tougher, although I'm not certain that he did that.
He clearly wanted nothing to do with getting up there, because he's realised Tony's got enough problems as it is.
You know, what he's done is made Tony's path to a really lock-up safety tougher by putting the 9-ball there. Just wants to barely feather off that 2. He didn't really want to run into that, and he certainly doesn't want it to fall. Oh my goodness. Now he's got to play himself out of his own safety.
Thank you.
Luck has really turned into Reyes' corner.
Oh, what an extraordinary rack this is turning out to be. Just when you think Efren's in deep trouble, Tony's come up with this. He did not need that.
Not in the least. Golly, when you think about the odds of that happening.
The irony is he's got a sight on that pink, but there's a high risk of on the blue, excuse me. There's a risk of a scratch, so he's had to put a lot of English on that. And this is bouncing out. And that's trouble for Reyes, for Crosby, I suspect.
Yeah, Reyes has a clear shot into the corner.
Well, that one went straight into the heart of the pocket.
Reyes just taking a moment to plot out the rest of the table. He knows that he's missed some shots in the past few games that he should not have. He doesn't want that to reoccur. So many times you'll see the players play for position in the center of the table.
Well, I wonder how much Tony Crosby is sitting in his chair stewing on this. He was up at 7-4 with 2 balls to win the match. He's had the break here to win the match, and neither opportunity has fallen for him. And now it's 7-6, and Reyes up next to join him on the hill. We've got a few more twists and turns in this one.
Yeah, you can never put Reyes in the grave early.
Afraid that because of technical reasons we can't bring you the 14th frame between Efren Reyes and Tony Crosby, but what we can now do is telling you that Reyes took it at 7-all. This is the final rack.
Final rack. Tony Crosby to break.
Whether or not he wins this match, Tony Crosby has certainly won some friends here.
He's won some friends. He's made a lot of fans.
He's got something down. Where's the cue ball going? Where's the 1 going? That's the big question.
Ooh, this could have worked out a lot better for Tony than what he has here. Efren gets up to take a look. But he's in control of the table. What he can't do is play too quickly here. He's got to plan the table through. And
did he play for safety?
He played a safe.
And is he going to get away with it?
Yes, he has. That's showing remarkable good humor under the pressure of this situation.
Hey, you're in the World Championship on the #1 table, playing the best player in the world. Hey, go and enjoy it. And he has.
Settle down then, please.
Well, we've seen this man work miracles before. He needs one now.
Well, he's made the contact that he needed.
Yeah, but he's not happy with that at all.
And Tony Crosby might have just thrown this match away.
Well, you're right, he might have, but there's a lot of work to be done. This is not an easy layout. Of course, neither was the last one.
And he made that a cakewalk. But that was not a good shot from Tony Crosby. Full view of this ball. And he's up and running.
Tough, tough. To make that 4-ball in the side, which will be the third shot coming up, he's got to get in a real tight window between the 5 and the 7 when he plays the 3. But if he can do that, this rack is his.
This is the shot, isn't it?
This is the shot.
This is effectively the shot for the match. Where's that ball coming out to? He wants it to stop. I think he may just have got away with that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
It's close, isn't it? It's close.
The look on Efren's face says he's not happy with it.
Oh, he certainly made it harder for himself. That is a real close call.
5 balls left. One of these men will walk away a winner, and one will be extremely disappointed.
And we still have no idea which one it's going to be, how it's going to go. Can Reyes dig himself out of the hole he's put himself in here?
What a match.
Oh, it's had everything, hasn't it? Reyes has overcooked it, but has he got away with it, or has it stuck its nose out?
No, it stuck its nose out.
More than its nose, I think.
Crosby.
He may take this on.
Of course.
He has to, doesn't he?
Yeah. This is not the tough shot. The next shot's the tough shot.
I don't know about you, Jerry. I got sweaty palms watching it. I'm glad I'm not playing it.
I know I'm more nervous than either one of those guys.
Well, if he's got the temperament for the big stage, this is where we find out.
Yeah, this is the shot right here. Can he hold it together for this?
No. Missed it by a mile.
You know, he got out of his pace on that shot. He rushed it.
He's done that twice in this match, and it's going to cost him the whole thing.
Well, it's not over yet.
You were saying?
Well, now it may be.
You tell these fans this one isn't over. You tell Tony Crosby it's not over. Can we have a little bet on that, Jerry, please?
No.
I'll get your money quick.
No.
It's been a great match. It's been wonderful entertainment. Somehow, Efren Reyes is going to get out of it with the win. Goodness knows how.
I've seen easier outs. He's still got to really control that cue ball. oh boy.
Well, you won't need us to tell you if this 9-ball goes down. You'll hear from the reaction.
Can you believe it? He's going to fluke it in the side.
No,
He's not. Tony Crosby has to make one more shot. He was ready to throw that towel on the table. He was ready to concede that shot. I wonder why he did not.
How could you script this?
You know what? If I were Tony Crosby, I'd take a break right now. I would take a break and walk away from this table.
Quiet, please. Quiet.
The last ball of the last rack. And it's still not over. It is now.
It is now. Tony Crosby has defeated the tournament favorite, Efren Reyes.
In a match that had...
So there we are. Tony Crosby gets the points along with Roya Pancho, and it's Efren Reyes who's left along with Babica without a win, without any points so far in Group 2. So there we are, and Jim White has been watching this with me. We found it almost impossible to believe what we were seeing there, but it was the most tense stuff, and unbelievable really that Reyes should do what he did at the end.
Well, why should we be surprised? If you didn't know what sort of pressure walks hand in hand with the World Pool Championship, you've just seen the greatest player in the world freeze under that immense pressure. Reyes choked. I don't know how else to say it.
But credit to Tony Crosby. But, I mean, we were all so astonished at the result. Indeed, one of our colleagues out there emailed you and said, get your money on Reyes. He looked unbeatable.
Well, the mistakes just flowed freely from the back arm of Efren in this one, and he just never ever looked settled in this match at all, Dave. From the outset, he looked like he was under pressure, played a lot of tense shots, and in the end, they proved to be decisive, didn't they? Should never have been that close.
No, and Jim, you're obviously the expert, but that last shot, it looked to me as if he was in a bit of a hurry to play it, and he looked awkward and slightly off balance to me.
Well, he hurried the shot. He went straight from the 8 to the 9. It even showed, our camera angle even showed where his back leg was not on the floor. He was not ready to play that 9. And that's usually how you succumb to the pressure.
Now, one of the major things in this tournament, Jim, is the fact that although he's lost, it's not that bad a loss because he lost, what, 8-7. But the rules are such that if there's a tie in the event of second place, the amount of frames you've lost is what really counts as opposed to other head-to-head.
Very good point and very valid. If there is such a thing as a good loss, that's exactly what happened with Efren Reyes, because the 7 rack wins might prove in his favor should there be a tie in that 4-man group stage.
But nevertheless, it's sown the seed of doubt in the great man's mind. He would never expect to have lost that.
He's put himself under a lot of pressure now. He must win his next 2 matches to guarantee that spot, certainly 1 win, and if the 7 racks do come into play, that would work in his favor. But boy, oh boy, he sent the fans home very unhappy after that match, didn't he?
Let's talk, let's give some words of praise indeed to Tony Crosby, because it was the most fantastic performance, wasn't it? He's won, and surely one of the best wins of his professional career, I would have thought.
Well, and you know something, the win, in the end, will help Tony to erase the misses that he had in the match, because I've seen him play